The reward for giving up our sovereignty, we're told, is greater influence in Europe. To see how much influence we have, I've come to the place I grew up. For centuries, fishermen's huts called shields lined the River Tyne. From them came the names of the towns that straddled the mouth of the river, North and South Shields. The seas here are rough, but the water is rich in mackerel, haddock, salmon, herring, cod, skate and shrimp. By the early 20th century, 14,000 tons of fish a year was being landed here at North Shields. There's a daily fish auction here still, in a building part funded by the EU.
Oh yeah, £24 in, 24 you're back in, 24 in, 25, £25. 40 quid for them, 30 pound for them.
In a corner of one of the halls sits fewer than 100 boxes, part filled with fish.
Billy.
A dozen or so fishermen and merchants surround them.
£26, 27, £27 yen, 28, £28, 29, £29, £30, £30.
74-year-old fish merchant John Ellis has been buying at this auction since the 1950s.
Better place, £6 with it.
When I started working down here, there was about 200 firms working on the quay. There was haulage firms on the quay who had 30 and 40 wagons that used to ship the fish away.
And how many boxes would there be in the market then?
In them days, 8, 10, 12, and then you would get also, you get 1,000.
12,000 boxes a day?
Uh-huh.
So of different place?
Heaven X, man, you couldn't get moved. Now with this, well, I think the average for the year, it'll just be about 200 boxes a day. So it's quite nothing, isn't it?
When Britain joined the common market, it lost control of its fishing grounds. When quotas were imposed, several other European countries lobbied the EU for Britain's fishing rights to be divided up between them. The British government was powerless to stop this.
The EU has just obliterated the English fishing industry altogether. The quota system they've got now is it's just mad.
Local fishermen were now banned from fishing in waters they'd fished successfully for centuries.
Oh, just beyond the pier over there. In fact, it might be there today, this great big Dutchman, but that Dutchman's got 25% of the whole quota of all of England. It's only 3 or 4 miles off the Tyne, catching herring and mackerel. Local fleet can't catch herring and mackerel, and it's right on the doorstep.
There is still a prospering North Atlantic fishing industry, but only in countries that have retained their independence.
Well, look at the Icelandics and the Faroes and the Norwegians. They sell millions of pounds worth of fish to us. And they're outside the common market. But you tell me a common market country that buys fish off us, but they send the fishing boats to the North Sea to catch our fish. And it's just madness.
The EU has been paying British fishermen to destroy their boats.
They said the fishermen, if you want to get out the industry, will give you a lump sum. This here looks like an old boat that's been destroyed. They just watch them with big chainsaws, cutting the old wooden boats up and burning them.
The EU pays fishermen to leave an industry and destroy their boats.
That's right.
While at the same time giving rights to people elsewhere to fish the same waters.
Oh, that's right, uh-huh.
For the fishermen here, being in the EU does not mean that Britain has greater influence over European affairs. It means Europe has taken control of our affairs. We have not gained power, we've lost it.
For the last couple of decades, Britain has voted against 72 measures in the European Council and been defeated 72 times.
How will you be voting in the referendum?
Oh, definitely out. Definitely out. I've known that as soon as I ever got the chance, I'd vote out.